Well, hello, it's your friendly fishmonger, Dan, from dansfish.com, and today is shipping day. So we're going to be shipping, I don't know, a few hundred fish out today. So I'm going to have you along for the ride, show you how I do things, and what it's like to ship out a bunch of orders. So let's get to it. The first thing I want to show you is over here. So these are the orders that we're going to do. They're lined up here. Each of these containers has the order form in it and is where I will place the orders as I collect the fish, so that I can keep everything organized and make sure I get the right fish to the right people. There's nothing worse than sending the wrong order to the wrong person and then having to resend it and all that stuff. So anyway, this is how I keep it all kind of organized. So the first thing we need to do is we need to get some water for the shipment. So I have a tank of water that I use for this, a few tanks, and I treat it with Prime. There are 5.5 gallon tanks that are empty, but they get regular water changers and have filters and stuff, so they have aged tap water in them, basically is what they have. And I put this stuff in. You could use safe as well, but I do it because it helps keep fish waste that accumulates in the bag during shipping from becoming toxic. It helps detoxify ammonia, at least for a while. So it helps. It's not perfect, nothing is, but it's as good as it gets, I think. So let's show you what we do. So come on over. This is the tank that I'm going to pull the water from. It's empty, and it's been empty for a long time, well over a month. The water in here is changed 5 times a day, so it's very clean, and I put some Prime in there a while ago, about half a capful, which is way more than you need, but it's hard to overdose, so I put half a capful in, and it's been circulating, so it's all circulated in there. So now what I'm going to do is grab some water from there and bring it over to the shipping table. Oh, let's get you guys some light so you can see me. There, is that a little better? And bring it over to the shipping table so that so we have some water to ship with. So give me just a moment and I will do that, and we'll be right back. Okay, so we've got our water. It's just over here in this container right here. And now what we're going to do is just grab some bags. The first fish I'm going to pack up are ember tetras, these beautiful little orange red tetras. They stay really small. I have 2 orders for 12 each of them. I'll do a little extra, but for those I want to use these bags. They're flat bottom bags, and so the fish can't get stuck in the corners. So these little fish, if you don't use flat bottom bags, or if you don't crimp the corners, you put the bag in the box, the corner gets smushed, the fish gets stuck in there, and it can be really bad. So I like to use these ones. It has a little more body for water in there, so you get more water in there. And I'll put about 4 of these tiny tetras per bag. They're really small, so there'll be plenty of room. So this is pretty low tech. I just take the bag, take some water from that container, and pour it in. That's all there is to it. I'll put a little more in there. Now, you don't need a ton of water. It's more important to have a lot of oxygen than water. So you want, I like to fill them, depends. The way I'm going to ship these is priority. So I need to prepare them to be in the mail for a couple days. So that means I'll put a little more water in than I would if I was going to ship them express, because that helps keep the temperature a little stable, more stable, and things like that, because there's just more water, and water takes a while to change temperature. So that's how I do that. So I'm going to fill the rest of them, and then we'll go catch some fish. All right, let's get us some tetras. Luckily these guys think I'm going to feed them, so they're all up at the top, so it's going to be easy to get a scoop. So I have some rules about this. These are big tanks, so I use big nets. Makes it a lot easier. And then I have a small net that, if I need to, I can dip the fish out of this net with the little net. Or I'll use my hands often, just depending on how squirmy the fish are. The other rule is these are always clean, dry nets. So I don't have like a bucket of disinfectant that I take a net, scoop fish, stick the net in there, and then pull it back out, go to another tank and do that. I grab a clean net, I use it in that tank, and then when I'm done, I put it in a dirty net container that's dry, and then when that dirty net container gets several nets in it, then I'll disinfect them. I soak them in hydrogen peroxide, and then I let them dry out and put them back in the clean net bucket. And so I have different containers for nets, but none of them have any solution in them, because I find that if you do that, you often get just gunk and they get smelly and gross. So I just have lots of nets. I have like, I don't know, 50, 100 nets, depending on the type of net that we're talking about. So I can always have a clean, dry one handy. And that way I can prevent any disease from going tank to tank, because I don't use the net in multiple tanks until it's been thoroughly disinfected and dried out and ready for use again. So anyway, let's get some tetras. So yeah, there's a ton in there. Now these umber tetras are tiny. They're really small. So I get a little school in there, and then I can just scoop them out and put them in their baggies. I've got, on this particular order, this is actually 2 orders, so I'm going to end up putting 5 fish in each bag. That'll send a total of 15 fish per order instead of 12. That way people get a couple extras, which is always nice. I mean, they're spending a lot of money, they're spending money on shipping, and I just like people to get a little more than they expected. It's just a good experience when you're a customer and that happens. And I like making people happy. And the other reason, though, is because if anyone has a problem and we lose a fish, then there's a couple extras in case that happens. So it's kind of to cover losses and just to make sure people have a good experience. Now I don't always do that, but with these little tetras, they're so little and I have so many of them that I don't mind doing a little extra. It's not going to cost me any more in shipping. It's not going to be any skin off my back, so I don't mind. So there's 4 in there. I'm going to give them 1 more. Oh, I have way more than 1 in here. Here we go. Come here. There we are. All right, 1 more. It's really helpful to get them in a school of them in the big net and then scoop out of there. It just makes it so much easier. You aren't chasing around as much, which I think is easier on the fish, and it's definitely easier on me. Alright, so that's the first order done. Sticking to the side of the bags. Okay, good. 1 in here. Let's inspect them. There's 1 in here I'm not real happy with. I noticed it was swimming a little funny. So I'll keep an eye on that, and I'll take that fish out before I send the order. I don't want to send anything except for the, highest quality. So I don't know if he's got a nipped fin or what, but I'm not going to send him. So I'll replace him before I pack the order up completely. It's hard to find him though. There he is. Yeah, every time I get my hand up there to go in and grab him, he swims off. So I'll do that though, just not right now. All right, so same thing for the other 3 bags here, 5 fish per bag. Now if these were a bigger species, I would do 1 fish per bag. Just because that way, the danger with doing more than 1 fish per bag is if 1 goes down, then it can, okay, got him. If 1 goes down, then it can make the environment toxic for the other ones. So there is a little bit of risk to it, but with such small fish, like tiny little emperor tetras, it's kind of the way to do it. 1, 2, 3, 4. I think I got 6 in here. Yeah. I'll let 1 out. There we go. Okay, there's 5. They're just so tiny and so delicate. You have to be pretty careful handling these guys. You don't want to put any pressure on the net. You kind of just cradle it. You got to be careful not to scrape them up the sides of the net or anything like that as you're catching them. They are an awesome little fish though. A big school of these, like this is a 75 gallon I'm catching these out of, and I've got a few hundred of them in here, and it's just like fire in the water. Bright orange to reddish color, big school of them going together. It's kind of magical. So I'm going to turn off the camera so I can get in this bag and switch out the one that's got the nipped fin, and then I'll take you over to the packing station and show you how we do the rest of this. Alright, I gave up. Every time I went to try to catch that little guy, I couldn't I couldn't get him out with the others swimming in there. So I just dumped them back in the tank, got some fresh shipping water in this bag, and I'll just put 5 new ones in there so that I'm guaranteed not to accidentally grab the wrong one out and send the one with the nipped fin. Alright. So there are 5. Yep. Okay. Great. So now I'm going to take some real time. I'm going to inspect all the fish in the bags, and I just want to make sure that they're all really good quality. We don't send any fish with any deformities or anything like that. Well, this is going to take a while actually, so I'll let you go and then I'll take you over to the shipping station like I promised earlier. Alright. Okay, so I've got the fish. I have them back at the shipping table. I'm going to pack them up now and do a little time lapse so you can see kind of my method of doing that. Alright, here we go. Okay, so here we are back at this shipping table. Let me show you how I kind of do things here. We'll do the time lapse in a second, but basically I partially seal the bag with the impact heat sealer there, and then I fill it with pure oxygen pretty much. It comes from a welding supply store, so it's, I don't know, 97 or 99% pure oxygen. And so then I put that in, and then I seal the bag the rest of the way. So right now there's one bag, it's all sealed up with oxygen in it. Then I take a second bag and I put the first bag in there to double bag it. This will prevent any leakage. If the first bag has a problem, then the second bag, is a redundancy. So hopefully you don't get leakage in the container. And you have to do that. If there's ever any leakage, that's a big problem. So just seal up the second bag and we're done there. If it's a big problem if there's leakage, because then the Postal Service or UPS or FedEx or whatever, that's bad. That means that all the packages around your package have now gotten wet because your package leaked on them. So now there's a bunch of damage and their customers are unhappy, and it's just something we don't want to do because we don't want to get in the position where they are unwilling to ship fish for us. So please double bag anytime you ship fish. And so that's what I'm doing here. So basically it's the same process over and over. Partially seal the first bag, fill it with oxygen, seal it the rest of the way, then double bag it. So that's what I'm doing. So let's get a time lapse going here and see the rest of it until the next section. Alright, so I find time lapses a little bit boring when there's no noise accompanying them. So here's your time lapse music. Time lapse! Pack the fish. Almost done the time lapse. Packing fish. Alright, so the next order is bagged up and ready to seal. So Mark, if you're watching, these are your killifish that we're doing right now. Okay, so this is Mike's special time lapse music. Time lapse. packing Mike's fish, and we are done. Alright, so Mark, those are your fish all packed up. For everybody else that has an order going out, I'm sorry, I'm running behind, so I'm not going to be able to take the time to video more because I want to get everyone to the post office on time. So, yeah, I'm going to finish getting everyone bagged up. I might have time to show some of the boxing and the insulation and stuff, but I don't know. So if I do, I'll see you later. If not, then I'll make another follow-up video another time with the second part of getting everything ready once it's all in bags. Anyway, talk to you later.